Purchasing a home or a cash out refi to consolidate some higher interest debt, you can trust Fellowship Home Loans. Start the process. Make the call. 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-6453. Fellowship Home Loans, mortgage lending by the book.
Nationwide Mortgage Bankers, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 819382.
Welcome into a Thursday edition of the Bruce Hooley Show. Glad to have you along. What do you think? Markets up, markets down? Your guess is as good as mine, right? I mean, Trump paused the tariffs yesterday. The horrible, awful, terrible, very bad tariffs that he was imposing on everyone. He paused them for 90 days, except on China, which he hiked to 125%. And we look like we're on the cusp of a trade war with China. And that's going to be a difficult thing to navigate, but the markets had their best day in years yesterday, and I expected more today. And now I'm looking at the indexes, and the S&P 500 is down 166 points. The NASDAQ's down 609, and the Dow is down over 1,000 at the moment. Now, if things hold as they have in recent days, in the past week, since Liberation Day, since Trump first announced the tariffs, maybe by the end of the day, they'll be back in positive territory, because we had a day last week, I forget which day, maybe it was this week, where at this time of the day, we were up 1,000 and we finished down 300. I thought I had a pretty good handle on this until I see these results just a few moments ago. Maybe they got overexcited yesterday over Donald Trump pausing tariffs and they bought too much. Maybe they didn't make quite enough money buying low, and now they're waiting for it to go even lower. I don't know. I just know that this is a big political risk for Donald Trump and the Republicans, but it is part of an array of things that he hopes will fuel the kind of American economy that we had in 2019 pre-COVID. The economy was rolling. Trump was on his way to being reelected. COVID hit. We shut down the economy. And we've been struggling ever since. We struggled with everybody forced to stay home from work in 2020, even though Trump wanted to reopen the economy on Easter. And they were like, oh, you can't. Dennis did it in Florida, and Greg Abbott did it in Texas. Oh, I'm a death wish. And it turned out that was the right decision. And Trump would have been right to reopen the economy on Easter of 2020. Then Biden took over, and here's a great idea. Let's spend way more money already, even though the economy was reopening and he didn't have to do anything. But of course, if Trump had done something, he had to undo it. And so we got 9% inflation, highest in 40 years. We struggled to bounce back from that. Inflation is still sticky. And Donald Trump wants the economy to take off. He thinks tariffs will be the way to do that because he thinks that other countries have taken advantage of us in trade. I agree that it's not fair or equitable or right for us to pay $370 billion a year to other countries who import their goods to our country. We're a great customer. We buy lots of stuff. We buy more stuff than any country in the world. You should be happy to come here. You should not force us to buy your stuff at a premium. So I'm okay with Trump on that. And it's ridiculous to me that the stuff we make, which is high-end stuff, right? Like we make jets, and we make weapons, and we make liquid natural gas. We make stuff that other countries got to have. And we only tariff them like $67 million. So there's a trade imbalance. There's a tariff imbalance. There's a fairness imbalance. But here's what I don't get. I don't get where Trump says, not only that, it's that like a country like Ethiopia, okay? Probably our number one import from Ethiopia is coffee. I'm not a coffee person, but I know from my friends at Hemisphere Coffee Roasters that a lot of countries in the world, Nicaragua and other countries, have better coffee than we do. Their ground is different. They grow it on mountains, whatever. It's just better coffee, okay? Those countries are not going to have a demand in their country, nor the money to buy the kinds of stuff we are exporting, okay? I don't think the Ethiopian Air Force is all that much of a threat. They're not buying They're not buying fighter jets from the United States of America. So it doesn't bother me that some countries buy less from us than we buy from them. For instance, they have fewer people than we do. We have a lot of people here. And so it's been a long time since I've taken economics. I'm not going to pretend that I understand all this, because this threw me today, that the markets are down again significantly after being up to a degree of which they haven't been up for years. I think I heard they went up more than they have in 5 years yesterday when Trump announced the pause on tariffs. So I'm as in the dark as you are about this. We'll have Josh Pick in tomorrow, of course, for the Aptus Retirement Blueprint radio show. They are, Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, says, negotiating with, now the number is 75 countries. It was like 50 yesterday. Now it's 75 countries. And those countries want to come in. They want to make good deals. Now, here's what we don't want to happen, okay? China has levied tariffs up to, what are they up to? 84%. And now Trump says he'll levy 125% tariff on China. So we've got a stare down between Xi Jinping and Donald Trump. If Xi Jinping had to worry about the people that he leads, for lack of a better term, like Donald Trump has to worry about the people that he leads, well, then we'd have a much better chance of winning this fast. Because if Xi Jinping had midterm elections coming up and he was going to lose control of the party and he was going to have a faction of the whatever the passes for the equivalent of the Congress in China, he'd have to please the people under him. He was answerable to his voters, but he's not. He's not, of course. He's a dictator. So Trump has to answer, and Trump's not going to get anything done the final 2 years of his presidency. He will be the lamest of lame ducks if either the House or the Senate goes to Democrats. Likelier the House would than the Senate, but it's still the only thing he'd get done in the Senate if he maintains a Republican majority would be confirmation of Supreme Court justices, should Alito or Thomas retire. And I'd like to have control of the government for more than just 4 years. But I don't want to go whipsawing back and forth between we get a super woke Joe Biden allowing men to play women's sports, and then we get Donald Trump who comes in and restores sanity and common sense by saying, no, there's two genders, there's two sexes, no such thing as gender. We're going to drill for oil. Biden's like, no, we're not. We're going to do EVs. I mean, this is just no way to run a country, okay? It's no way to run a country where we're so polarized that we can't build any consensus from one regime to another and any continuity from one to another. So I was really, really excited yesterday when I heard Trump pause the tariffs on a lot of our allies. I'm fine with a trade war with China. I think we can probably win that, although we've let it get so out of control. And honestly, it got out of control under George Bush. China joined some kind of a trade thing with other countries around the world in 2001. Bush was in office in 2001. We had our minds on 9/11, post 9/11, war on terror, all that stuff. Nevertheless, China, when you do a deal with China, when you're an American business, you do a deal with China, they require you to show them your proprietary information in order to do business in China. And then they steal it, and then they make what you're making as knockoffs, and then they sell that in the United States, for instance, like let's just say something as simple as golf clubs. And all of a sudden you're buying Callaway golf clubs, only they're not made in California, they're made in China, and they just slap the name on it. They steal our IP on things that are a lot more technologically savvy than golf clubs. And they are a country where, like, if you get screwed over in a business deal, like let's say Callaway gets onto that. Callaway goes, hey, wait a minute, you're making knockoff golf clubs. We're going to sue you. You can't sue them in China. The Chinese courts won't hear of it. So this is what Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank, is talking about when he says China doesn't play fair. Here was O'Leary testifying yesterday on Capitol Hill.
I think it's a wake-up call to China. They're going to have to play by the rules. We need to impose a level playing field. Nobody has called them to the rug. Nobody has said, okay, you're not complying And all they've been taught from us is there's no consequence.
Yeah, that is what they've been taught from us. Donald Trump wants to exact a consequence. And here's what's possible. Here's what's very possible. China may come to the table and do a deal with us and eventually work this out. But if Trump doesn't stay on top in the midterms, if the House doesn't stay Republican, or heaven forbid, if J.D. Vance, Josh Hawley, Tom Cotton, somebody else in the Republican Party is not elected the 48th president of the United States, then we're going to get a Democrat in there, and China's going to go right back to undercutting us in terms of our technology and taking a lot of our money, and then taking that money and then financing AI and rebuilding, not rebuilding, bolstering its already strong military. We're already not sure if we can beat them in a military war, which is kind of important. Okay, it's kind of important. They might move on Taiwan. This is a high stakes game. I love the fact that tariffs have been paused on our enemies. I hope, not on our enemies, on our allies. I hope that it lasts a lot longer than 90 days. We got to make friends, because if we don't, those friends will run to China.
Afternoon, high 59. Clouds tonight with some showers, low 37. Partly sunny, chilly for tomorrow. High for Friday, 47. Saturday, cloudy and cool, high 52. Turning warmer on Sunday with clouds and sun, high 61. And cloudy and breezy Monday with a shower and thunderstorm, high 69. I'm Andy Robb on 98.9 FM, The Answer.
If the amazing regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics provided relief for former pro football player Bobby Carpenter, imagine the potential for your aching joints.
So my knee had been bothering me for a while. I played football for a number of years. I looked at, talking to some doctors when I need to potentially have surgery, and I decided, like, hey, let's check out QC Kinetics. I go in there and they look at the knee. Hey, here's the program that we can put you through.
That treatment takes your body's own healing properties and concentrates them at the root of the pain. No surgery or downtime.
The best part was there's no recovery until one day I felt like, hey, this feels like my old self again. I feel better. It's helped me. It's helped my dad. Hopefully it will help you in the same way. My message to them is do not wait. So you can go out and play golf and do the things that you love and enjoy.
Take it from Bobby Carpenter. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6745. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6745. That's 800-575-6745. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
As a local business owner, you get called every week by marketing companies. We get it. We have hundreds of satisfied customers. Here's what a satisfied client recently said.
Open enrollment is going great. We're hitting record numbers. Thank you so much for this report. It really is amazing to see how the marketing is really shaping our enrollment around the city.
If you're a local business and ready to take the next step, Google Salem Surround Columbus right now. Our experts are ready to help you take your marketing to the next level. Google Salem Surround Columbus today.
Hey, Carl Jackson here for Dennis Prager. While Dennis Prager is recuperating, we know you miss your daily dose of Dennis. That's why Pragertopia is giving you a special gift. Right now, Pragertopia members can hear the best 2 hours of Dennis's favorite segments from as far back as 2010. On Monday, you can hear the Happiness Hour.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's what I'm about.
Tuesday is Celebrity Guest Day.
Donald Trump Jr. is in studio with me.
On Wednesday, it's the Male-Female Hour.
I really do wish there were a way to ascertain the number of marriages that this this hour has helped.
Thursday, the ultimate issues hour.
Not having ultimate issues clarity is like having a map, but you don't know where you're going.
And Friday is open line.
Feel free to ask me anything about me, about you, about life.
So if you're missing your daily dose of Dennis, go to PragerTopia.com and hear all your favorite segments along with lectures, celebrity interviews, and his famous Torah teachings and more. Get your daily dose of Dennis at PragerTopia.com, PragerTopia.com.
Well, in case you missed the news, we are now sold out for the Larry Elder event at the Der Dutchman on April the 25th. It's going to be a great night. Larry's coming in from Los Angeles, the Sage of South Central, host of the Larry Elder Show. We're going to have a great night at the Der Dutchman. We have a great night every single time we have a station event, and we're already planning our next one. It'll be a men's event. Keep that middle of July open, gentlemen, on your calendar. We had a phenomenal time last year at the church next door. Pastor Doyle Jackson, Jennifer Jackson, they do a tremendous job. So we love interacting with you. We're very appreciative to those of you who bought tickets to our Larry Elder event. If you did, your ticket includes the price of a Der Dutchman buffet, a lot of the different pies for dessert. The bakery will be open. I was at the bakery at the Der Dutchman this morning, and let me tell you, my daughter was very happy when I surprised her with her favorite donut today. So thank you for your support of our station events, and we look forward to our evening with you on April 25th. Note to self, Der Dutchman opens at 7 a.m., not 6 a.m. I was there for the 6 a.m. opening, but they weren't open. But it was worth going back for 7 a.m. because today is my beautiful youngest daughter's 16th birthday. So I just want to wish my lovely daughter a happy, sweet 16. She's amazing. A lot of kids go away on spring break and this, that, and the other. She did all her driver's training during her spring break. And she's an amazing young lady, and I'm very proud of her, and was happy to go twice this morning to get her favorite donut. Looking forward to a great rest of the day with her once I finish this air shift. The tariffs have been paused. Art Laffer, legendary economist, helped Ronald Reagan get Jimmy Carter's crazy inflation under control in the 1980s. Here's Art Laffer on the purpose of the 90-day pause in tariffs, which essentially I think the 90-day pause is a way for Trump to just say, okay, we're not going to do those tariffs against Japan. We're going to do them against Mexico, Canada, and others. We are, though, going to hold China accountable for the fact that it's been unfair to us in many, many ways. But here's Art Laffer on the purpose of the 90-day pause.
Well, we need to make bilateral agreements with every one of those countries that is negotiating now with Scott Bessent. And they give plenty of time. 90 days is plenty of time to get a good, solid agreement in force. And then once they do that, then what happens is you lower the tax rates on all of them tariffs, and you get a much freer trade world. It's Donald Trump's dream for quite some time, and it will benefit the U.S. enormously to lower their tariffs that they have against us. And it'll make it great for them to open up the U.S. markets and have a much more free trade zone, if not a totally free trade zone, which would be spectacular for the U.S. and for the world and lead to incredible prosperity.
Yeah, I think the gap here is China doesn't want to look like it caved, and Donald Trump doesn't want to look like he caved. He always says he and Xi Jinping have a great relationship. I think there's no way of denying the fact that this has been rolled out in a way that has been frosty and has probably, if in fact they had a good relationship, has probably compromised that good relationship. Xi Jinping doesn't want to look weak to his people. Trump's never going to acknowledge that he might be outfoxed by someone else, which I'm not sure he has been in this instance. The American economy, we've got more disposable income. People in China, they don't have disposable income. They don't sell to their own people. That's why they sell to us 3 times more than we sell to them. Their people don't have money to buy our stuff. But here is Art Laffer talking about the delicate relationship between the U.S. and China, where you can't look weak in this relationship.
U.S. and China should become trading partners, not adversaries. Obviously, some of this with China would also have to do with Taiwan. But, we're going to be here 100 years from now, and so is China. It's much better to have that 100 years where the U.S. and China are partners and peaceful, not at war and not in conflict all the time. And there's nothing better for bringing peace and harmony to the world than opening up trade. You know, you don't want to fight with your customers. You don't want to fight with your suppliers. You know, it's a perfect model for bringing peace. It's called peace through strength, which was Reagan's phrase, and it's Donald Trump's phrase too. And this is going to happen, I think, with China, and I couldn't be more excited.
I hope he's right. I hope we get this fixed. I hope we get on the prosperity train, and I hope that that motivates people to keep Republican control of both the House and the Senate, and Donald Trump can get more stuff done. He's already got a lot of stuff done. Gas prices are coming down. Border is secure. We've gotten rid of a lot of the wokeness. I think people generally like a lot of what Trump is doing. This was handled in a way that, I don't know, maybe it's 4D chess. It seemed clumsy. It seemed all over the map. But I'm not ready to bail on President Trump until I see how it shakes out. We want immediate results to everything. It's been a week. It feels like it's been a month, right? And a month feels like it's 6 months. So let this work. Let's see where it goes. Now, our Ohio legislators are, I almost said hard at work. They're at work anyway. The state budget includes $25,000 a year for passenger rail. Is that number correct? I'm reading it online. What kind of a rail system are you going to build in the state of Ohio if you only give $25,000 to it a year? Now, I'm not saying I want a rail system in the state of Ohio. I think it's an egregious waste of money because I just don't think you're going to change people's habits. I just don't think you're going to get people to hop a train from Columbus to Cleveland to Cincinnati. I just don't think you're going to do that. I've been on metro trains in other places. You can say, oh, they're phenomenal. Okay, but they've been there for years, right? Have you ridden on the L in Chicago? Have you ridden on the subway in New York? I'll take my own personal car every single day of the week. They talk about a train from Chicago to Pittsburgh that would pass through Columbus. I know this. You're not going to build one for $25,000 a year. Now, speaking of money, remember that COVID money that we sent out to all the schools and the government spent and spent and spent and spent? What did they do with that money? In Dublin City schools, they financed master's degrees in mental health counseling. Maybe not master's degrees, but it says advanced degrees or licensing. And they have doubled their mental health specialists in the Dublin district. Okay, I got to be careful how I talk about this, because if I criticize it, then it's like I'm criticizing mental health and I don't care about kids' mental health, and I do care about kids' mental health. But I think we also can magnify things that are normal for kids to go through. Kids go through adversity. It's one of my favorite verses in Proverbs. Blows and wounds cleanse away evil, and beatings purge the inmost being. Now, I'm not advocating for kids to be beaten. The principle behind that proverb is that adversity grows you. Who of us has not grown from adversity? And I think when we allow kids to magnify every single challenge they have into a mental health crisis, then I think maybe we get more of so-called mental health issues than maybe would exist if we were just like, okay, this is a normal part of growing up. Kids are mean. They can't physically assault you. They shouldn't like say bad things about you, but you know, you also can stand up to these kinds of things. Maybe I'm too old school on that. I just think we coddle. What was the book? Was it Douglas Murray who wrote this? Coddling of the American Mind? I don't think Douglas Murray wrote that. Somebody else did, but it was a great book. And that's a delicate balance.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. The House has done it, passing President Trump's so-called big, beautiful budget bill, advancing Mr. Trump's agenda in the process.
Huge.
Approval came this morning after behind-the-scenes negotiations that won over some Republican holdovers who were concerned about deficit reduction. Responding to the president's 3-month pause in higher U.S. tariffs on most countries, the European Union delaying new tariffs on American goods for 90 days. The lone exception is China. Mr. Trump's levy on the Chinese imports rising to 125%. After postponing last evening's vote, House Republicans have voted today to approve the president's budget plan. And on Wall Street this morning, stocks are in the red. The Dow Jones Industrial Average down about 965 points, while the NASDAQ Composite Index trading 593 points lower. More details, srnnews.com.
Financing a home, especially in today's market, is one of the biggest decisions you'll make for your family. Work with a mortgage company that puts you first. I do. Work with a lender founded on biblical principles like do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. I do. It's Mike Gallagher for the only mortgage company I've used for almost a decade now when financing or refinancing Fellowship Home Loans. I'm friends with the owners, Mike and Brian. I even have them on my show occasionally. I know the care their team puts into every single customer. I can personally tell you that it's a smooth, stress-free process, and that's due to Fellowship's level of service and expertise that puts you in the right loan for your family and your goals. There's a reason Fellowship Home Loans is flooded with 5-star reviews. Whether purchasing a home or a cash-out refi to consolidate some higher interest debt, you can trust Fellowship Home Loans. Start the process. Make the call. 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-6453. Fellowship Home Loans, mortgage lending by the book.
Nationwide Mortgage Bankers, equal housing lender, NMLS number. News, opinion, passion. Here, 98.9 FM, The Answer, anywhere you go. With The Answer's mobile app at 98.9theanswer.com. Also on your smart speakers, tune in, or iHeart.
I'm CPA Brad Hennebert with Premier Tax CPAs. And the true value of using a CPA is getting guidance throughout the year, not just at tax time. During the year, we can actively advise you on your financial and tax planning and other major business decisions, just like an outside CFO. Too often, when you see your accountant only at tax time, we're really only keeping score of what you did last year. We'll prepare a comprehensive tax plan to maximize your deductions and minimize the tax you pay, and present you with money-saving options you may not have ever considered. We'll update your financial position each quarter, so there are no nasty surprises at tax time. At Premier Tax CPAs, we like to have consultations with our clients throughout the year because important financial information is only useful if it's timely. At Premier Tax CPAs, we're a firm that can work with you and your business throughout the year to help you make decisions before it's too late. Give us a call at Premier Tax CPAs at 614-524-4888. That's 614-524-4888.
This is Josh Fick with the Aptus Blueprint Radio Show. The thing that I hear most often in meetings is, what do I do when it seems like stocks and bonds are getting crushed? Rates at the bank are abysmal, and inflation is at 40-year highs. Well, you're not alone, and there are better options. Did you know that you can lock in darn near double-digit returns in a positive market while simultaneously accepting zero downside risk? Learn more about ideas like this and many other ways to improve your financial situation by listening to the Aptus Retirement Blueprint Radio Show Friday evenings at 6, Saturday afternoons at noon, or call our office today at 614-917-1040.
He's the voice of a new generation, willing to fight for what's right in the greatest country ever conceived. He's Charlie Kirk, and you can hear him weekdays from 6 to 7, and again 11 to midnight on your station for news, opinion, and passion. 98.9 FM, The Answer.
If you are looking for a flooring remodel, I hope you will go to my website, brucehooley.com, and click flooring, because I'd love to help you with it. I've helped a lot of listeners to the Bruce Hooley Show, and the best part of that is getting to meet you. And we have wonderful conversations. I get to see your home and get to find out what you like about the show, find out what your perspective is on life. And it's just great because this is it's kind of an antiseptic environment here in the studio. Like I have a window, I look out in the hallway. There's nothing there but machines. I have a window, I look at Jeff. Jeff's over there busily going about his day, but I'd like to meet you, and I'm looking forward to meeting a lot of you in April at the Larry Elder event, but I'd also like to have the opportunity to serve you, and I can get you any flooring that you're looking at in a big box store. But here's the best part. I can get it for you faster, and I can get it installed quicker, and I can save you money on it. So that sounds like a good deal, right? At least worth exploring by going to brucehooley.com and clicking flooring, giving me your information, then I'll reach out and we'll have a chat. Wow, I can't believe they got Trump's big, beautiful bill through the House. Did I not just watch Chip Roy yesterday? and a couple other guys say, I will not vote for this. I will not vote for this. I didn't just watch it. I heard it. I know I played it for you yesterday. Here was Chip Roy yesterday saying that there's just no chance he was going to vote for this budget that came out of the U.S. Senate. Wait a minute. I know why I did that. I had the sound down because I was reading the Fox story, because Fox always embeds a video behind their content. Here's Chip Roy yesterday.
Is clearly not sufficient. It's frankly a joke from the Senate, and it's more of the same swamp stuff that we've been dealing with for years, and so nothing's changed. So, we have to draw a line in the sand now on a budget, and the Senate's budget's not there.
Not sufficient, joke stuff, swamp stuff, he said yesterday. Now, I don't know, he may have voted against it, but Thomas Massie voted against it. He votes against everything. We can only lose, of course, we picked up the 2 additional seats in the House. I was listening to a morning news podcast today on my way to work. They were hoping they could get this passed by Memorial Day. By Memorial Day. They got it passed today. Crazy. Every time they say, Mike Johnson, he can't hold his coalition together. He holds it together. Mike Johnson doing a great job. John Thune, head of the Senate. Here is Mike Johnson quote. I'm happy to tell you this morning we have the votes to finally adopt the budget resolution so we can move forward on President Trump's very important agenda for the American people. Our first big, beautiful reconciliation package here involves a number of commitments, and one of those is that we are committed to finding at least $1.5 trillion in savings for the American people while also preserving our essential programs. Now, you know how the Democrats are going to position this, right? They're going to say that the Republicans are cutting Social Security and Medicaid. Now, what you have to remember is they are not cutting Social Security and Medicaid. They continue to lie about cutting Social Security and Medicaid. And Democrats are very good at lying. They're not so good at governing. Let's see. I think we might have Mike Johnson here on Capitol Hill speaking live. Let's see if I pause this at the right spot. Let's see what the speaker has to say for himself. All right, I'm going to pause him there because there's a lot in there, and I don't want to miss any of it. Okay, so deregulation, going to take the constraints off businesses. We're going to juice up American energy production. We're going to need that for AI. Expenditures for the wall. Trump's done a tremendous job closing the border, but I don't trust a future Democratic president to continue to employ ICE and Customs and Border Protection agents as ICE and Customs and Border Protection agents. They'll turn them back into secretaries, logging paperwork and allowing millions of illegals in. So we got to finish the wall, which I presume this budget has allowances for. I wonder how much of this is driven by the fear that had to exist in the House this week. When the market started diving, cratering, That's not too strong of a word. House members are looking at, if I'm in a swing district, I'm done. Okay, Chase said, yeah, chances are greater. We might have one. Diamond generally speaks for, his voice is a powerful voice in the financial world. I think everybody here had motivation to come to an agreement. And that's fine. That's great, because what happened the first time Trump was president? The first 2 years Trump was president. Now, I know you're a conservative. You're listening to this show. You're probably a conservative. You're like, well, the economy boomed and everything was great. Okay, I don't dispute that. Did we use the maximum leverage that we had? No. Did the wall get built? No. Why not? Because we dithered around, got to the midterms, Democrats retook control of the House, they control the purse, and they weren't going to spend on the wall. Hence, when Trump didn't win, I want to be careful what I say, because I don't believe he really lost, but he didn't win the 2020 election, well, then the door's wide open and the welcome mat is out. And then millions literally flew on the CBP1 app into the country and crossed into the country. And we got a mess in the sanctuary cities and we wasted billions of dollars housing those people, all because we did not exercise the maximum leverage we had the first 2 years of Trump's first term when we had the Senate and we had the House. Well, thankfully, they've learned. It appears they've learned from that. Chip Roy didn't like the bill that came out of the Senate. Some other Republican spending hawks didn't like it. I get it. I'd like to cut. All right, great. But don't let the enemy of good be that you have to have it perfect, right? Don't let perfect be the enemy of good. Get it done so you can get not all of what you want done, but more of what you want done. So I'm thrilled with this, because the sooner we get this done, the sooner we start moving, like I'm a member of the House, the sooner they get this done, the more chance we have for the economy to get rolling and churning and Republicans to be bulletproof in swing districts so that Trump doesn't lose the House in 2026, but gains a stronger majority in 2026. Because Democrats can lie and they will, media will lie and they will, but people's pocketbooks don't lie. And if we improve the lives of the American people and the American middle class, whether it's tariffs, whether it's deregulation, whether it's cost cutting from Doge, or whether it's things they do that we're not even talking about yet that are contained in this budget reconciliation bill, that's going to be a wonderful thing. That's going to be a wonderful thing. So phenomenal. They got this done. Here's a little more from Mike Johnson. All right, so I left out, see, so much going on. I left out the fact they've made the Trump tax cuts permanent. Now, that doesn't cut your taxes additionally, but it takes off the table the chance that your taxes are going to go up dramatically at the end of the year, because the Trump tax cuts were set to expire at the end of this calendar year. Now, we don't have to worry about that. And I think he wants to lower the corporate tax rate more. And when he lowered the corporate tax rate the first time, businesses took off. Remember, we didn't have more than 3% GDP growth ever in 8 years under Obama. And then we had soaring growth under Trump until Anthony Fauci and Peter Daszak decided to send money to the Wuhan Institute of Virology, tanking the economy and triggering the election of Joe Biden. But this is amazing news today. They're ahead of schedule for the first time in a long time. We're ahead of schedule.
For this afternoon, high 59. Clouds tonight with some showers, low 37. Partly sunny, chilly for tomorrow. High for Friday, 47. Saturday, cloudy and cool, high 52. Turning warmer on Sunday with clouds and sun, high 61. and cloudy and breezy Monday with a shower and thunderstorm, high 69. I'm Andy Robb on 98.9 FM, The Answer.
This is my pillow.
This March and
You see
April,
how the Guardians
Temperature Pro
game
is
ended
turning up the heat on kindness.
They
For
threw a guy
every
out at the
thousand
plate, I
diapers
was
our
told,
team
but I
picks up
didn't
during
see
the
it.
service call will
Plus,
make
they
a
loaded the
contribution
bases
to
again.
Bottoms Up
With
Diaper
2 outs,
Bank,
gives up a
helping
single,
families
one
in
run
need
scores. The other
right
guy
here
rounds
in
third
Central
and pulls a
Ohio. When
hammy.
we come to service
200
your
pounds
HVAC,
Oh,
you
wow.
can
He gets
Just have
tagged
a
out.
pack of diapers ready for us.
Between
Any size, any brand. And together,
Wow.
we'll make a difference. One
And he
diaper
would
at
have
a time.
scored because
Need a
the
repair,
throw was
tune up our new system?
offline.
Call
Oh, wow.
Temperature Pro,
But
proud
he
supporter
couldn't
of
run.
Bottoms Up Diaper Bank.
Salem News Channel is America's fastest growing
They won
conservative
2
TV
one-run
network.
games against the White Sox by a walk-off
Home
walk.
to the largest lineup
The
of
guy
free
pulling a
speech
hammy
champions
around.
anywhere. Delivering in-depth insight and unapologetic opinion on today's biggest news stories.
Americans aren't going to put up with this anymore.
SNC brings you the news that matters, told with integrity and clarity. Watch Salem News Channel free, 24/7 on your television. Stream now on Zumo Play.
Oil investments involve a high degree of risk and uncertainty and are only suitable for accredited investors. Actual results may vary.
President Trump says, drill, baby, drill. And he's declared a national energy emergency and is making the U.S. oil industry a priority with support for more active drilling and support for our hardworking oil and gas industry. If you are an SEC accredited investor and qualified to make at least a $100,000 investment, you can deduct nearly 100% of your investment for this tax year. Don't miss out on this limited time opportunity to create potential income for up to 20 or more years to come. Call 800-278-7455 now and connect directly to Encore Energy. Encore is a major investor and experienced horizontal well operator in its core area of operations. Call Encore Energy now at 800-278-7455 and find out if your investment will be tax deductible for 2025 with the potential for lucrative cash flow for years to come. Call 800-278-7455. That's 800-278-7455.
Don't get suckered into the same old free phone game by Big Wireless. That comes with a lot of fine print, like requiring you to sign up for 4 lines, plus activation fees, plus. At the end of the day, you've paid for that free phone 3 times over. Pure Talk, my sponsor and my wireless company, has a much better offer. With a qualifying plan of just $35 a month, you can get a brand new Samsung Galaxy A26 for free. This phone has virtually indestructible Gorilla Glass and captures beautiful wide-angle photos with next-generation camera lenses. All you need to do is switch to Pure Talk. For $35 a month, you get unlimited talk, text, and 15 gigs of data with a mobile hotspot, all on America's most dependable 5G network. Dial pound 250. When prompted, just say Mike Gallagher. And Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team will help you make the switch in as little as 10 minutes. That's pound 250. When prompted, just say the keyword Mike Gallagher. Get your free Samsung Galaxy with qualifying plan from Pure Talk, wireless by Americans for Americans.
New connected technology, and the Consumer Technology Association wants to help you protect the security of your devices. First, don't use default or easy-to-guess passwords. Create unique ones and keep them safe. Next, look for and install security updates from device manufacturers. Also, have an active firewall for your home router, and consider using a professional installer to set up new devices. Easy tips from the Consumer Technology Association to help keep your devices secure.
MyPillow.com mega sales, good news for you if you like sleeping. I mean, if you like sleeping soundly, because sleep is important. It restores you, it rehabilitates you, it rejuvenates you. And MyPillow, well, they'll rejuvenate your pocketbook with this mega sale 2.0. I mean, standard MyPillow for under $15. That's amazing, because I got the king size MyPillow 8 years ago for $80. Now you'll pay less than $20. That's part of the mega sale. So are the 6-piece bath and kitchen towel sets. Now, the MyPillow kitchen towels, the MyPillow towel sets used to come in 2 washcloths, 2 hand towels, and 2 bath towels. And that was a good deal. But now you can get 6 bath towels and you can get 6 kitchen towels for under $30. The newest product at MyPillow.com is the MyCross. It's a beautiful cross. Men's, women's styles, 30% off, part of the MyPillow mega sale. Go to MyPillow.com, use my promo code Bruce for maximum savings. MyPillow.com, promo code Bruce. We'll chat with Matt Mayer, opportunityohio.org at 12:05, as we do every Thursday when we can make connections. I can't wait to ask Matt what he thinks, because Matt's a business guy. Opportunityohio.org is a great website. Matt's a business guy. And Matt will have insight on the tariffs, whether this was a strategy all along, how this is going to work out. And Matt lives in the Dublin district, so I would imagine Matt will have an opinion on the COVID money being spent on advanced degrees for teachers. Because Matt's like me. He's got an opinion on everything. Now, we talked about the big, beautiful bill that is now on the horizon. Not the deep, far horizon, the near horizon. Because this morning, the House, despite what fiscal hawks yesterday said, Chip Roy and others, I'm not voting for this. They voted for it. So we have agreement. The Senate budget, the House budget, the big, beautiful bill. I think that's kind of a corny name for it. But hey, if it shuts down the border, if it induces American energy production, if it just further crushes Democrats by getting the economy rolling and ensuring that more Republicans will be elected in the midterms than were in the past election on November the 5th, I'm all for it. What about the Ohio budget? Okay, so they're at the State House. The House has passed. We have a House and a Senate in the state of Ohio. We have, of course, a House and a Senate in the U.S. government. I'm talking now about the budget for the state of Ohio. There are a lot of things in this budget approved by the House that I like. There is one thing that I hate. And if you are a state legislator, particularly if you are one of my state legislators, you are going to get an earful from me if you are in the Ohio Senate and you approve this stupid provision in the Ohio House budget. But first, let me go through the things I like. I don't want you to think I'm negative. I'm going to focus on the negative, but I'm very negative toward one aspect of this bill. I'm indifferent to providing $600 million in bonds to help the Cleveland Browns build a dome stadium in Brook Park. If I haven't dug into this nearly like I would have if I were still in sports radio, which thank goodness I'm not, because I'm just done with the toy department of life. But I certainly don't really think that we need to help build a dome stadium for the Browns. I think Jimmy Haslam's got plenty of money. The NFL's a money machine. And if he wants to build a stadium, he could build it for himself. But again, I can be talking. Dave Yost doesn't like it either. He's the attorney general, and Dave's a good egg, and I would tend to side with Dave on this. But sports owners always, they bring a lot of business to a town. Okay, I'm indifferent to that. Okay. The stuff I really, really like. They will spend $35 million to create savings accounts for students who attend non-chartered private schools, which don't accept vouchers, okay, because they have deeply held religious beliefs or whatever. I'm all about charter schools. I'm all about public schools. I'm all about private schools. I'm all about schools. I don't believe there's one solution for every child. I believe that the state of Ohio ought to incentivize parents to educate their children however the parents want. And I believe that the parents ought to be brought in on the ground floor and must be notified of everything concerning their child. So I don't have an opposition to this at all. The Democrats do. They want to incentivize teachers' unions. There are great teachers, and then there are teachers who are not great. There are fantastic administrators. There are administrators like the Ridgeview Middle School principal who wouldn't let the cops in after they called in a bomb threat. We'll talk to Matt Mayer about that too. Look, there's good and bad in every profession. There's good journalists, good talk show hosts, bad ones too. Good doctors, good cops, bad doctors. I hate this part. They increase funding for public libraries because people whined about it. Again, libraries are a relic. We do not need physical libraries. We have libraries in our pocket. Okay? You can maintain online libraries. There should never be another physical library built in the state of Ohio. I know you might have a great time going with your kid. I get it. My wife and daughter went to our local library the other day. Don't need them. Don't need them. You don't. There's got to be, you can get a video and see a movie. What's a movie cost off YouTube? $4? How many movies can you get free on Amazon? How many movies can you get free on regular over-the-air TV if you don't have cable? You don't need a library. You can get the books online. Libraries can exist. They just don't need to physically exist. They're a relic. No more money for libraries. Now, at least they've told libraries they have to keep their sexually explicit material out of people's easy accessibility. There's some stuff in here prohibiting Medicaid funding for mental health services that promote or affirm social or gender transition. That's great. Ban menstrual products in men's restrooms. Stupid we even have to have this discussion. That's obviously great. Prohibits money for youth homelessness from being used on gender-affirming care. That's great. Abolish the Ohio Elections Commission and shift its authority to the Secretary of State. I agree with that. I don't think we need an Elections Commission because we have had a great state Secretary of State in Frank LaRose, and we'll have another great one because he'll be a Republican. County coroners will be appointed, not elected. Oh, that's fine with me. Like, that'd be an interesting candidate for him, wouldn't it? Hey, tell me why you'd be a better choice of coroner than this guy. No thanks. Just appoint him. That's fine. Here's one I like. Provide a $750 income deduction for donations to pregnancy resource centers, which aim to deter people from having an abortion. I love that because it's in line with what God wants when it comes to pregnancies. And it'll drive the left crazy, which if it drives the left crazy, I'll be there holding a sign in support. All right, what is the part of this thing that I hate? What is the part of this that I promise you, if you are in state government and you approve this, because the House did, and that's stupid, and if you in the Senate approve this, I'm coming for you. It would require counties in Ohio to reduce homeowners' property taxes if a school district's cash reserves exceed 30% of the amount of money that it spent on its budget in the previous year. Now, you might hear that and you might go, wait a minute, Bruce, you're against lowering people's property taxes. Aren't your property taxes out of control? Yes. You can do a part of this, but you cannot do this in a blanket fashion. Why not? Because rapidly expanding school districts, particularly in rural areas, save money back out of good stewardship and good financial management to pay for things like roof repairs, HVAC repairs, buy land for future school buildings. Can you buy land cheaper today, or can you buy land cheaper 2 years from now when you need it for a new school? You can buy it cheaper today. To penalize school districts, if you want to fold a blanket over this and say, if you have 30% cash reserves in excess of your budget, we're going to look at your test scores, and we're going to look at your future ready program, and we're going to look at your parental evaluations of your district. And if you're doing a great job, we're not going to penalize you for doing all that and having cash on hand. But if you're Columbus and you're hoarding cash and your test scores are in the dumper, then we are going to penalize you. This blanket approach to this aspect of the state budget and school funding penalizes districts that are doing it right without differentiating them from greedy, inefficient districts who are doing it wrong. It's a stupid policy as written, and it better not pass the Ohio Senate.
ProView Remodeling, Ohio's #1 choice in sunrooms, windows, doors, decks, sidings, patios, porches, basements, and bathroom remodels. Call ProView Remodeling today and get 25% off or 60 months, 0 interest. That's right, 60 months, 0 interest. Call or text 7 days a week, 614-756-3140. You win.
Thanks for joining. Appreciate it.
614-756-3140.
The week's almost gone. See you tomorrow. Hope you have a great day. Go, I'm going to say it. Go Tribe. Go Cavs. Used to be a huge Reds fan. I've lost touch with the Reds. I can't watch MLB on TV anymore. It's like not on my channels that I have. I have YouTube TV. But I'll get up to a Guardians game this summer. And, probably miss my chance to get to a Cavs
today at 9890answer.com.
Rooting for the Cavs. That'd be great. If the Cavs won a title without LeBron, that'd be great. All right, you guys have a great day. God bless you all. And happy birthday to my sweet daughter. She's amazing. Love her to death.